Come on through, Cookie. I want to put my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks for clicking on the video. This is my review for The Quad Season 1, Episode 7. We start right off. Dominic Briggs, Dom, actually came in to see Eva. That's, the guy that owns the strip club. He was basically it was funny because he was flirting with Crystal, Eva's assistant, and basically got in there and he swindled himself a dinner date with Eva, all under the pretense of actually having a dinner to welcome a group of donors. He actually has put together a group of donors. People are going to donate money to the school. But really, Dom is trying to make a move on Eva. Later on, we actually see them at the dinner. In this episode, they kind of like grabbed some things and just threw them out there and just kind of left them hanging out there. So this was one of them. But he definitely is trying to make a move, slowly but surely, on Eva. It's cute. It's cute. It is what it is. She's sharp. It is what it is. But he asked her, about the audit and all of that and how it was actually going. And then he actually told her, he made the statement, I wouldn't be surprised if some money had been embezzled before you actually got here in this seat by those people who were turning their nose up at me, which was so funny because earlier in the program, there was a meeting with Carlton, Cecil Diamond, and the former president. And I kept wondering why Carlton said to the former president, you might want to get to traveling. And when he said that, the light kind of came on that there was some dirty shit done with some money before Eva actually came. And he had a plan. This is what I got from it. That he had done some dirty shit with some money. He had a plan to straighten it all up, but he ended up being forced into retirement like 5 years early. So that shit hasn't actually been cleared up. And I think that audit is going to highlight that shit. I don't know. I'm going to be keeping my eye on that. But they kind of just threw that out there. And they were actually there at the hospital visiting Cecil. It was really weird. I said, okay. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all thought. Or did anybody actually catch that? Did you see that? Tell me what you think. Anyway, let's move on. Bojan and Junior end up convincing Taisha into helping them with their class project. They were in there texting up in the Jasmine Guy's class, and she got pissed off and gave them a assignment on gender attitudes and exploring gender attitudes. Do people view things the same for women as they do for men, and on and on and on and on. Well, they wanted to do like a study. So they come up with the idea to act as though they were in a threesome, but that Taisha was actually the more aggressive of it. And they kind of popped it off in the cafeteria one day, and people immediately started tweeting and posting to the website, and it turned out to be really crazy because they literally went, the gender, you can see it right there. Bam, it showed right up. People were calling her a tramp and really saying some really negative things about her, but not so much them. So they seen it right away. It was really interesting. It was really, really interesting. And they had to write a 10-page paper, and they went back to class. She said, I saw what was actually on the website now. And she's said, you redirected, and now this is what you need to actually focus on your paper. You see what it is. You see that it actually exists. So they got to see for themselves, that whole gender attitude, which again plays into that whole rape situation that's actually going on there at the school. So it was really, really eye-opening. Cedric and his roommate are kind of bumping heads and not seeing eye to eye these days. They're just not really getting along. Um, the girlfriend who got murdered, her brother showed up. Said that he found out there was a guy named Bones who actually did kill the sister. This is what he's hearing. He wanted him done. He gave a gun to Cedric and basically told Cedric, like, are you down with it? Let's get it done. This, that, the other. And Cedric was kind of like with it. Later in the program, the roommate found the gun and basically he didn't go right to Cedric and say something. He ended up running into the brother one day, and Cedric was coming down the hall while they were end up having a conversation, and he had said to him, you know what? Why ruin his life? Why ruin his life and bring this drama to him? And I know this is not him. You brought this drama here. Why ruin his life? If you care about him, you won't ruin his life. And it didn't get ugly. It was kind of TV-esque. So it didn't get real ugly. And we actually seen toward the end of the program, the boy was killed. Cedric was actually where he was supposed to be to actually do the killing. But what it ended up happening is that the girlfriend's brother caught the guy in another position before the time that he was supposed to meet up with Cedric and had killed the guy. So after that, he ended up seeing Cedric and told him, I took care of it already. And Cedric was like, okay, but I was ready to do him. This, that, thing, and the other. And he's like, yeah, but you don't need to mess yourself up. My sister wouldn't have wanted that. Go ahead and do what you got to do here. You all right? Good. Okay, I'm going to see you. I'm out of here. And he basically went on and he left. Now, that was interesting TV, but I'm going to tell you what was problematic for me. The thing that was problematic is that stupid-ass Cedric was willing to do it. So what are we saying about this character? Cedric, you ain't learning nothing. You're not learning anything. You're stuck in that ghetto-ass frame of mind where you can be talked into anything. So it just didn't help me with his character. It really made me side-eye him like, you're not learning anything. You're not learning anything. That kind of pissed me off. Again, go in them comments, tell me what y'all thought about that, but that pissed me off. Let's talk about Cynthia, Cecil Diamond's sister. We found out that their father was an abusive bastard and used to beat her, used to beat the mother, and he also used to beat Cecil. She was upset with Cecil because Cecil got the opportunity to go off to college and he left. And she felt as though she was left there to endure the abuse of the father and to also continue watching her mother be abused. And then the mother got sick and died. Cecil came home. That was the only time he came home for the funeral. And then she also ended up taking care of the dad too. So that was kind of that's the background. That's what we were looking for with them. Why was there so much tension? And then I think she's kind of forgiven the father for a lot of what was been done and kind of, family is family, that kind of thing, that blood is thicker than water thing. And that's why she brought the father there to the show. And Cecil was having some flashbacks. The father wasn't even supportive, it seemed as though. Didn't seem like he was very, very supportive of Cecil. It was more like he was just verbally abusive and mentally abusive. So, anyway, once Cecil ended up telling her that he had cancer, lung cancer, all of that shit went out the window. She sat down, took him by the hand, they talked. There is an experimental drug that they wanted Cecil to do, but there's so many ifs, ands, and maybes that he decided not to do that, to go through traditional treatment. So that's what he's actually going to be doing. So we'll continue to see how all of that actually plays out. And another thing I've noticed, that we're starting to see Cecil's character changing a little bit. He seems to be softening. And I think that's that life and death thing that's bam right in his face. So we're starting to see some of that with him too. Okay. Another meeting that went on, Eva actually sat with Crystal and also with the I Didn't Consent, the rape group leader. Her name is Trina. She brought another girl in there, real pretty girl. She was an actual victim, and she wants to come forward. And here it is, Terrence raped her too. She accused Terrence of raping her as well. Whenever Eva mentioned it to Sydney, Sydney told her she wanted to come back to school. Eva doesn't think she should come back. She said, if the two of us are banding together, then maybe we can get something done. And she says, you have to trust me. I'm working on it. She told her, yeah, you're working on it, but you didn't do anything. If you could get Terrence gone, you would have already gotten him gone. So she doesn't want to hide anymore. She's ready to come out and fight, basically. And Eva's a little worried about her, but this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out as well. I am actually waiting. That's pretty much all that really went on with this situation. I'm waiting to see, because we didn't get to see Cedric's roommate. We saw that his roommate seen that the boy got killed, that there was somebody killed, but we haven't seen his interaction with Cedric yet. So I'm interested to see that. One thing that they did throw in here is that whenever Jasmine Guy her character was doing her little lecture, she threw in the whole thing about Donald Trump and the little dig about grabbing by the pussy, honey. She threw that in there. They threw that in there and let Dawn have it a little bit. I said, oh, y'all's a mess. Anyway, but that's basically it. That is what actually went down. It was a good episode. It was a good episode. Not a lot of drama, but a lot of filling in and then a lot of throwing other things out that I think we're going to touch on as we go forward. So, with that, I will see you guys next week. That was episode 7 of The Quad. It's still good. I really enjoy this show. I like this show. All right. Later, y'all.